Hi everybody, it's Red again. This is part 2 for my weekend update on June the 20th, I believe. Let's see, what is today? Yep, June 20th, 2010, found at reddragonleo.com. Just a continuation, just real briefly here, just to let you know the Gulf oil spill. This is an article by Seeker 401, found on his website called Follow the Money, which is a great website. I like to read his stuff. He finds a lot of good stuff out there. I'm going to cover this here briefly in the beginning, then we're going to get right into the technicals for what I expect. But I urge you to go read this article. It talks about the money trail and Al Gore and Dick Cheney and the Rothschilds and how they all are going to profit from this oil spill, and you should definitely take the time to read this article. I'll put a link on it on the website, but basically what this really boils down to is a staged oil explosion for the purpose of getting people to back the cap and trade bill so that they can make trillions of dollars off of a fake global warming issue that isn't real. They put that out. They've got websites out there about peak oil. That's fake as well. Yes, peak oil could happen at some point, but we're nowhere near it. They've got tons of oil. It's all staged and manipulated to make trillions of dollars, so they're going to sacrifice BP for the purposes of making trillions of dollars off of this bill. That bill was almost dead, that cap and trade, because of Goldman Sachs being exposed with that Matt Taibbi article, The Great American Stock Market Bubble, where he talks about them. So in that, they basically had to sacrifice something to get people back on the global warming, green energy stuff, and that whole bill is just garbage. It's just all about making money. It has nothing to do with it. Global warming part is real, but it's not just based on Earth. It's Mercury, Venus, Mars, our suns having sunspots, Jupiter, Saturn. All the planets are warming up. So has nothing to do with greenhouse gas emissions. Don't believe into that. Plenty of evidence out there showing all the planets are warming up. So anyway, I did want you to read this as well. This guy's putting out cards showing things, showing these events before they happen. He's putting out card games. So there's a video here that they did in this movie with knowing the oil spill, that Nicolas Cage here. They do a movie talking about an oil spill before it even happens. So, you can Google this as well and find that out there as well. So it's all staged, folks. It's all staged. Everything is. Let's move on, though. Let's move on to some of these astrology stuff. Last week I posted a link here about the astrology. And this guy's got a new one up here now. Okay, I posted this right here talking about astrology and where the markets are going, and it's extremely, extremely negative for next week. I mean, it's so negative it should be like another 1987 crash, only greater. It really should. And this link, I'll repost it as well. This was posted. One of the people on our site posted these for me, and I thank him for that. And he posted another link as well here that you'll see, showing that the Dow has been down 17 of the last 19 times and 10 in a row the last time. So next week is looking like it should be a down week. How much of a down week, I don't know. That is a good question. When we go and look at the charts here, and let's see here. When we look at the weekly, for example, we can see this is putting a bear flag in. But how much of a bear flag is it going to go? The MACDs here are rolling up. Now, the question is, Are we going to continue up like we did here, a nice smooth up pattern, or like this one, nice and smooth and up? This one here is also nice and smooth and up. But you'll notice that it's not as common to have positive divergences in these as it is in the daily charts. Here you have a big positive divergence where you make a low, go up, and then make a lower low. Or I should say a higher low, I'm sorry. And why you do this, this was a positive divergence because the market fell to here in this range with this low, then started going back up, and then it fell again and made a positive divergence. So at that point, and then it fell one more last time after it ran up here and went back down. But it was making a positive divergence, you see, because these were putting in lower or higher lows, I should say, as the market was making lower lows. Well, are we going to do the same thing here? Is this going to, next week, is it going to put in a little lower histogram tower than the previous one, and then the market make a lower low? That's the big question. I don't know if we will or not, simply because of the time period that we are in. We are in the summer months. The summer months historically are slow. So I really think that this might be their last opportunity to go up and hit that fake print of DIA 11 or 118.16, about 11,800, which is probably about 1260 to 1280 on this, which would be a perfect back test of this line. I said this once before, but I just didn't know when we was going to do it. I don't know if we're going to do this or not. You know, over the course of the next few months, we've got a few months here before we go into the really bad season of September, October, November. I'm thinking that we're going to chop around here. When you look at this here and you see this range here, you'll also see that we were way deep below the RSI was deep in below the 30 mark there, which is very bearish and bearish territory. Here we have already moved up and getting ready to cross the 50 and to go back up into bull territory. So, you know, I don't like believing in the bulls because the news out there is horribly negative. But let's face it, this market is run by computers. Skynet, like the Terminator movie, you know, that computer system. Astrology, although I believe wholeheartedly in it that it affects people's moods, we are in a situation where the market is probably 50% computer run right now with Skynet, their supercomputers. And in light volume days, it could be as high as 70%. I'm just guessing at these numbers. I really don't know what they are. Maybe Zero Hedge can put an article out there. Maybe he already has about the percentage of computer-driven stuff. But if the big boys, the big institutions, do not decide to sell, then even bad moods is not going to affect people into selling next week. As you can see, we're going up. You know, how far, I don't know. I think until we get this cross here, it's going to chop around, and we very well could go up here and hit this fake print. So that's on the weekly. You look at the daily. Now we are massively overbought on the daily, but you know, I believe it's just going to come down here and correct a little bit next week and turn and then go back up. I think this is going to end up being an A, B, C move. You know, I hate to say that because I'm a bear. There's no question. I'd love to see this thing tank down to where it should. And now this all assumes that we don't have another false flag event. Like BP was a false flag event. 9/11 was a false flag event. I mean staged events. That's what I mean. But right now you can see we're losing steam here as the ADX line is going down, and the negative one is also losing power. So I think next week might be down by the end of the week. Just down a little, maybe to you know, 1100, maybe even 1180. I don't know, but I think it's going to turn and go back up. 60-minute, same scenario here. We'll probably break out of this wedge, go back down here, and form some kind of channel, just like the chart pattern traders got here. That's probably the likely scenario. Is we'll go down and do that, and then continue on up and chop around in the summer months. Very well possible that the Legatus meeting could be, or big turn point. That's September 9th through the 20th. That could be the start of the big wave down. Okay, I'm out of time. Thanks, folks.